Hi everyone, it's Lisa. Today on Doodle Draw Art, we're going to draw a skeleton for Halloween. First thing we're going to do is draw his head, and I'm just going to sketch in the areas where I want all of his body parts to go. So just a light circle here for the head, and then there'll be his neck, and here we'll have his chest, and some more spine, and his pelvis. And I want my skeleton to be dancing, so I'm going to make one arm coming up over his head like this, and then he'll have his 5 fingers up this way, and I want his other arm to go over like this, and we'll have his 5 fingers coming this way. Then I would like to see one of his legs bent off to the side here with his foot here, and the other one up in the air dancing with a very energetic direction. So basically these lines that I've drawn they're all just sketch lines. They're all going to go away. It's just helping me place my image on my page, and it's going to give me an opportunity here to change anything if I don't like the proportions. So if I wanted to make this leg bone longer and join this over here, this is a good time to do these things. So what you need to do is decide for yourself how far you want each of these lines to go. You can get a pretty good idea of whether or not you like the image on the page here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to fill in with some shapes. So here I'm going to draw my skeleton's head, and what I'm going to do is make a big U right up here, and then it sort of comes in a bit at the bottom, and now I'll make his cheekbones just pop out a little bit like this on both sides, and we're going to come in to make his top of his jaw. So we're going to come in on both sides here, and then just a little U up, and then a bigger U below. So this is like the front of his mouth. So here will be his teeth coming down like this. And then I'm going to make his mouth open because of course he's a dancing skeleton, so he's probably pretty happy. So I'm going to make a big U shape here for his open mouth, and then I'll just draw another line inside to show where we can see into his mouth. And then we would also see his teeth down here, so I'll just do a few lines here to show teeth. Somehow skeletons usually don't have very good teeth, so there's little gaps in between. So now we want his nose hole, so up here I'm just going to make sort of a double oval, because he's going to have a line up here in the middle of his nose area, and then we'll make his 2 eye sockets. And so these are not eyes, they're eye sockets, so they're bigger than eyes would be, and this would be good right here. Alright, so then inside my skeleton's eyes there's going to be shadow coming in from the back of his head like this, and of course there's going to be shadow inside his mouth as well, and inside his nose. So if we want to imagine that the light is coming down from this side, we're also going to see shadows coming along the side of his skull. So that's basically my skeleton's head. Now I'm just going to make some neck bones. So I'm just going to draw a couple of ovals here that lead back over to his chest and his rib cage. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw the sternum, which is the bone that comes down the front of the chest where all the ribs are connecting. And then of course we're going to have like a collarbone connecting things back here. Comes out this way. That's probably not the collarbone, that's something to do with the shoulder. And then all of this area here is going to be curved lines coming out towards this edge and out towards this edge, because these are all going to be the ribs of my skeleton. So here they're just coming out from the sternum and curving out towards this edge, and then they curve down more towards the edge again, and then we can just kind of make some more lines here. This is all probably connecting up in the back, but what we can't see is the back because of all of these vertebrae. So I'll just make a few more vertebrae coming down, and then we'll just see a couple more lines of his ribs. Same thing on the other side. We're going to start off at the sternum and just draw these curved lines coming out toward the edge of his chest, like so. And again, there'll be some just coming back here and behind that we can't see as well. Now we're just going to draw one more vertebrae here, and we're going to leave this area open, but we're going to draw the pelvis. And the pelvis has like a butterfly shape in here, like this. And then it has like the shape of an ear. So it's going to loop up and over like this and in. And then it's going to come down like this, and it's going to come back up in. And then there's sort of a little, some little, like a hole down here. I don't know if it's actually a hole or if it's just a, just the way his, I don't even know what that is. Okay, so over here we're going to have the same thing. We're going to make this butterfly shape that comes up and in, and then down, and it's going to connect right back in there. And we're going to have some more of these sorts of lines. Now we're going to draw bones, and these are just going to be like a bunch of dog bones. So the top of the arm is going to have a dog bone here. That's just one big bone that comes out to the elbow. And then from here we have actually two bones. So I'm going to draw an arc and another arc, and on the outside an arc and another arc, so that we can see the two arm bones coming out there. And then the hand is really just a whole bunch of little tiny short bones. We have so many bones in our hands and our wrist, but we don't have to draw them all, because this is a bit of a cartoon. So we're just going to draw here some fingers on our skeleton. He is waving up in the air like this. Like the most bones I've drawn so far, they're all right up here in the hand. Okay, same thing on the other side, just like a dog bone here, coming down towards the elbow, and then double bones coming towards the hand. This hand's kind of pointing behind him a little bit, so we can't see it as well. Alright, and then again some little circles here for the wrist and the hand, and then we'll have the thumb coming this way. And I like to draw 3 bones for every finger, because we sort of have these 3 bones here. Okay, now we're onto the leg. Same idea. The top of the leg is going to have one big dog bone coming down to the knee, and then down here we're going to have 2 bones coming down towards the ankle and the foot. Same thing over here. We'll draw a big dog bone coming up, and then double bones coming down toward the ankle bone. And again, we're going to have all these bones in the foot. We don't have to draw them all, that would be crazy, but we'll just draw some. Okay, and then same thing on this foot. We've got a big ankle bone, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then some little toes on here as well. Okay, so those are all of the lines that I'm going to need for my skeleton. So now I'm going to grab my fine point Sharpie. I'm using the ultra fine point permanent marker Sharpie, and I'm going to go over my lines with my Sharpie to turn this pencil sketch into a ink sketch. And I'll just, it doesn't matter if I hit all these lines perfectly. The whole idea here is that I'm sketching a skeleton. So you can be really picky or not. I tend to be not really picky when it comes to this, because I just want it to be really casual and fun. And the more effort you put in, sometimes the less quality you get out. So I'm going to go for it, keep it simple. And sometimes when I erase later, I'll see places where I wanted to put some shading back in because I lost it when I, because there's pencil mark in there right now, and the pencil mark really adds a bit of shading of its own before I even had to do any ink lines. So sometimes I think there's more shadow than there really is. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and do Okay, so I've just drawn in the lines that we talked about before, and I'm going to go through now with my eraser and just take away all of the pencil marks that I had done previously, and then we'll see where we need to draw some more ink lines for shading and texture. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to darken up a little bit more in the mouth here so that we can see the teeth separately from the dark shadows in the mouth. And I'm also going to add some more shading inside the eyes. So my first lines, you can see I drew them diagonally this way, and now I'm just going to do crosshairs going the opposite way. Gives it a bit darker of a look. And then I'm going to add some more lines in here, just a few little lines. And then I'm going to actually show these ribs wrapping around because there's a little bit of space in there that I couldn't really notice before, but they can just loop back around towards my skeleton's back. And I'm just going to draw a couple little lines in here on the arm bones and on the bigger leg bones, and maybe add just a little bit more shading just in back here on the back of the spine, because this is the part that's in the back more that we can't see as well. And I could add some shading back in here in the background. This just gives us a little bit of dimension, 3 dimensions. Okay, so you can stop here or you can add some color. So different ways you can do this. You could use color pencils or you could use paint. So I'm just going to see what I have here. So what have I got? I've got this lightish brown and I've got this darker brown. I think I'm going to go with that. So I'm not going to color the whole thing, I'm just going to add some color. So I'm just going to add color to my skeleton's body here, just on these limbs. Just a little hint of color, because bones aren't really like a solid color, they're more just whitish. But I do want him to stand out from the page here, and I think the best way to do that is just to add a little bit of some color. Just like this. These bigger bones, I'll put a little bit more color on them. I think if you colored this in solidly, it would end up looking too cartoonish, or not too like you tried too hard. Yeah, there. Now I do have a darker brown, and I'm just going to go ahead and add a little bit of darker shadows in the darker sections that are further away still, so I can add a little bit more dimension to my skeleton. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw the skeleton today. I hope you drew one too, and I would love it if you would comment. And if you liked watching this video, please click like. And if you would like to keep updated on future videos that I do, you can subscribe to my channel and then you'll never miss a video. And you may know this already, but I take subscriber requests because I always want to draw what you want to draw. So as an artist, I find it fun to draw lots of things, and it's fun to get input from my viewers so that I draw the things that you like as well. Alright, so I've got all of the shadows done on my skeleton here, and I would love to see your skeletons. So you could share them with me any way that you know how. You could share them on Google+, you could share them on Instagram, you could share them on Facebook. I'm on all of these things. You just have to look for me at Doodle Draw Art. You can also find me on Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest. Alright, so thanks for watching. Happy Halloween.